The narrative is that our economy has never been better. What's the truth?
The fact that my identity of being a Muslim is now told to me is something that's happened now. If you remove the top 20% of India, your per capita income is sub-Saharan.
मैं पहली बार सबके सामने पूछना चाहता हूँ कि आपने कभी राहुल गांधी से पॉलिटिशियंस करप्ट होते हैं, ये एक परसेप्शन आ गया है अमंगस्ट 90-95% ऑफ पीपल, सिर्फ हमारे देश में नहीं दुनिया भर में। मैं आपका परसेप्शन इसके बारे में सोचना चाहता हूँ। व्हाई इज इट एंड डू यू अग्री विद द फैक्ट दैट ऐसा परसेप्शन है एंड कैन यू प्लीज ड्वेल अ लिटिल ऑन दैट?
परसेप्शन इज देयर, इसमें देयर इज नो डाउट अबाउट इट कि ये परसेप्शन है कि पॉलिटिशियंस, नेता अक्सर करप्ट होते हैं। बट आर पॉलिटिशियंस ओनली बाय देमसेल्व्स करप्ट, और आर दे अ रिफ्लेक्शन ऑफ द सोसाइटी दैट दे रिप्रेजेंट? So then we should look deeper. हमें अंदर देखना चाहिए कि क्या as a society, while we do want non-corrupt politicians, and I think that is important, why as a society do we want tolerate corrupt politicians? And why do corrupt politicians, if so, keep getting re-elected time and again? Okay. So then does that reflect society? Is only politicians who are corrupt, or other branches of our society also corrupt? क्या एक आम आदमी जब एक सिग्नल तोड़ता है, इज ही ओके कि वो फाइन भरे या वो 50-100 रुपया देकर उसको वहां से बचना है? करप्शन वहां से, उस लेवल से शुरू होती है। क्या जब आपके बच्चों का आप एडमिशन करवाते हो स्कूल में, आर यू ओके टेकिंग समबडी एल्सेस सीट, और यू ओके पेइंग दैट स्मॉल अमाउंट ऑफ मनी? तो क्या करप्शन सिर्फ इस लेवल पे, पॉलिटिकल लेवल पर, कि हमारी आम जिंदगी में भी करप्शन है? ये पहला सवाल है विच वी शुड रिफ्लेक्ट एज अ सोसाइटी। हम दूसरों के करप्शन को टॉलरेट नहीं करते, पर क्या अगर हमें वो मौका मिले करप्ट होने का, तो क्या हम करप्ट हो गए? विल वी टेक द इजी रूट आउट, और विल वी टेक द स्ट्रेट रूट आउट? दिस एज अ सोसाइटी वी शुड रिफ्लेक्ट, एज अ कलेक्टिव सोसाइटी, एंड आई थिंक आई हैव अ काइंड ऑफ आंसर टू दैट। आई थिंक इंडिया एज अ सोसाइटी और our neighborhood, we are struggling for resources to give the best to everybody. So there is an insane amount of competition for fewer resources.
Correct.
Does that mean that I know corruption is bad, but because it may help me in the short run or my family, I'm okay paying that extra price to go ahead? And if that happens with me, then can I really judge other people who are corrupt? And the solution to that also I've thought about. ये तो problem हुआ, इसका solution क्या है? How do we increase resources for everybody? Therefore, we have a society where everybody has equal opportunities to begin with. I think that is the fundamental question that needs to be asked.
Okay, I get it. आपका fundamental point correct है कि जो corruption है वो हर स्टार्टर ऑफ सोसाइटी में है, लोएस्ट स्टार्टर से हाईएस्ट स्टार्टर। लेकिन हम जब अपने पॉलिटिशियंस को इलेक्ट करते हैं तो हम उनसे कुछ एक्सपेक्ट करते हैं कि वो सोसाइटी से बढ़कर हो, क्योंकि हम उन्हें देखते हैं एज अ गाइडेंस।
करेक्ट।
हम अपना पूरा देश उनके हाथों में दे रहे हैं, राइट, स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम। सो डोंट यू थिंक कि उनके जो स्टैंडर्ड्स हैं इन जनरल शुड बी मच हायर देन एनीबडी एट एनी स्टार्टर? तो मेरा ये पॉइंट है कि जस्ट बिकॉज हर जगह करप्शन है, मौका है, अपॉर्चुनिटीज है और लोग करते हैं, पॉलिटिशियंस और नॉट पॉलिटिशियंस। लेकिन मेरे सोच से पॉलिटिशियंस को उन करप्शन से अबव होना चाहिए।
करेक्ट,
दैट इज माय पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू
एंड आई एग्री विद दैट। एक्सेप्ट अगेन दिस इज अ रिफ्लेक्शन ऑफ सोसाइटी, एंड पॉलिटिशियंस कहां से आते? नेता कहां से आते? इसी सोसाइटी से आते हैं, हमारे बीच से ही आते हैं। अगर हम नेताओं को इलेक्ट करते धर्म के बेसिस पर, जाति के बेसिस पर, कास्ट के बेसिस पर, ना कि वो हमें क्या सुविधा दे रहा है, तो फिर आप क्या एक्सपेक्ट करते हो? देखिए, आप किसी भी, आप महाराष्ट्र देखिए, आप कोई भी स्टेट देखिए, किसी भी सूबे को देखिए, अगर आप महाराष्ट्र को देखिए या कोई और, एक छोटा कॉर्पोरेटर इलेक्ट होने को कितने करोड़ों रुपए खर्च करता है, ये सब जानते हैं।
करोड़ों रुपए, छोटा सा एक
कॉर्पोरेटर। मैं बहुत बेसिक लेवल, एक लोकल लेवल पॉलिटिशियन की बात कर रहा हूं, मैं तो नेशनल लेवल,
और उन्हें करोड़ों रुपए देने पड़ते हैं
in a city. They spend on the election campaign,
marketing,
even buying gifts to get elected on a personal favors, gifts. Okay, when that kind of money is spent, I'm talking very basic corporator level politician. I'm not even talking national level.
हाँ.
अगर आपने करोड़ों रुपए खर्च किए तो आप क्या करोगे? सबसे पहला चीज क्या करोगे जब आप इलेक्ट हो गए?
अगर
आप उसको रिकवर करोगे, ऑब्वियस बात है. तो उस कॉर्पोरेटर की जिम्मेदारी क्या है? लोकल कॉर्पोरेटर की, आपका सड़क बनाना प्रधानमंत्री की जिम्मेदारी नहीं है, विपक्ष के नेता की जिम्मेदारी नहीं है, मुख्यमंत्री की जिम्मेदारी नहीं, उस लोकल लेवल पॉलिटिशियन की जिम्मेदारी. आपके घर के बाहर जो सड़क है, फुटपाथ है, पानी का पाइप है, वगैरह वगैरह, लोकल जो आपके लोकल इश्यूज है, वो क्या करेगा? वो सबसे पहले अपना पैसा रिकवर करेगा. और वो कहां से उसे रिकवर करेगा? इसी छोटी चीज में करप्शन करते. इसीलिए आपका कॉन्ट्रैक्टर हर साल सड़क बनाता है, हर साल वो सड़क खराब होती है, सड़क बनने के बाद फिर वो सड़क डिग होती है क्योंकि उसमें इसको पाइप डालने होते हैं.
तो हर बार वो पैसे बनाते रहते हैं.
कट दैट गोज इन.
और ये 99% ऑफ द टाइम्स हो रहा है.
थिंक अबाउट इट. व्हाई द रोड स्टिल नॉट गुड? आप मुंबई या दिल्ली जैसे शहर में रहते हो, या गुरुग्राम या पुणे, करोड़ों रुपए का फ्लैट होता है, पर जब आप नीचे जाओगे वहां पर फुटपाथ है चलने के लिए? वहां पे जगह है?
नहीं जी. साइकिलिंग ट्रैक नहीं.
साइकिलिंग ट्रैक है
जी नहीं.
वहां पे बुजुर्गों के लिए एक सेफ पैसेज है?
बिल्कुल नहीं.
व्हाई दीज फैसिलिटीज नॉट अवेलेबल? वहां पे पानी अवेलेबल है? These are the questions,
basics, fundamentals.
तो आई एम नॉट इवन टॉकिंग, मैं कोई न्यूक्लियर डील, मैं कोई स्पेस रिसर्च में उस करप्शन की बात ही नहीं कर रहा हूं. मैं बहुत बेसिक चीज की बात कर रहा हूं, और बार बार आप उन्हीं को चुन रहे हो.
That's so sad.
So this is the problem. और वो आते कहां से? वो हमारे बीच से आते हैं. और वो हमें किस चीज में लड़ाते हैं? धर्म में लड़ाते हैं, कास्ट में लड़ाते हैं. क्या हम अपने, कितनी बार आपके व्यूअर्स हैव आस्क्ड द लोकल कॉर्पोरेटर, व्हाई आर माय रोड्स नॉट गुड? Why are my footpaths not good?
So
why is there encroachment on my footpath?
You're encouraging the citizens of our country to use the power of their voice.
Vishal, the first 3 words of our constitution that Baba Saheb Ambedkar gave us. In English is we the people. The first 4 words in Hindi is हम भारत के लोग. ना कि मैं भारत का प्रधानमंत्री, मैं भारत के विपक्ष का नेता, मैं भारत का चीफ जस्टिस, मैं भारत का राष्ट्रपति. The first 3 words are we the people. The power is with us. Not even God.
But is it?
So it is, if we use it. This constitution is given to us by Baba Saheb Ambedkar. Why aren't you asking the local corporator? Why don't these societies get together, call the local corporator and say there's encroachment here? ये encroachment क्यों है? अगर वो encroachment है फुटपाथ पे, तो पैसा किसको मिल रहा है?
जी, लेकिन I think a lot of people try. I don't want to dwell too much into this because we have a lot to cover. But I'm saying I think you also know that. I'll ask you if you agree कि बहुत सारे लोग try करते हैं. For example, अगर मेरा एक घर है पूना के कल्याणी नगर में है, बहुत ही अच्छा एरिया है, और मैं अगर उससे बाहर निकलूं और सड़क की गटर खुले हैं, पॉट होल्स हैं, मतलब गंदा है, तो वहां के जो लोकल्स हैं, ऐसे बहुत सारे लोग होंगे जो जाकर पूछते हैं कि क्या हुआ. लेकिन अगेन एक्सपीरियंस ओवर इयर्स कि उन्हें कोई आंसर नहीं मिलता है. तो द पावर दैट द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन गिव्स अस, वी द पीपल, एक्चुअली वो पावर is not really there with the people today. I have a question for this. I know you mean well.
Correct.
You're not a politician.
Correct.
Tahseen Poonawala is not a politician.
Correct.
Right? ये एक misconception है लोगों में that you're a politician who favors and is with the Congress party.
Yes.
ये एक misconception है. Correct me if I'm wrong. You are not a politician.
I'm not a politician. Do I vote anti-BJP?
Yes. And we'll come to that. I love you know what I love about you the most politically? कि you are a centrist.
An absolute centrist.
आप बीच के रास्ते को देखते हैं और आप दोनों साइड के बुराई और अच्छाई देखते हैं. And I would love to give you the opportunity and ask you about that in detail also. So I won't dwell into this too much. लेकिन मेरा पॉइंट ये है, उससे सवाल ये है, अगर एक आम इंसान को अपनी आवाज लोगों तक पहुंचानी है, फॉर एग्जाम्पल द कॉर्पोरेटर तक, सिंपल चीज, यार पानी नहीं आ रहा है, गंदा पानी आ रहा है, सिंपल सी चीज, तो कैसे करें?
द शॉर्ट टर्म सोल्यूशन
जी,
जो इस वक्त है, गेट टुगेदर अदर सोसाइटी मेंबर्स, कॉल द कॉर्पोरेटर एंड थ्रेटन नॉट टू गेट हिम इलेक्टेड नेक्स्ट टाइम. ये तो पावर आपको संविधान ने दिया है. द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन इज गिवन.
द पावर ऑफ योर वोट इज एक्सट्रीमली पावरफुल.
एक्सट्रीमली.
ये
every politician is insecure. And the reform I want to bring in when I'm in government is the right to recall. After 2.5 years.
Elaborate, please, sir.
After 2.5 years, let there be a right to recall. And if more than 60% of the people say that this guy hasn't performed, recall the person.
Wow.
Which is a majority. So the corporator onwards to the prime minister, they are forced to perform.
Have you ever complained? आपका as an आम नागरिक, has Tahseen Poonawala ever stepped out of his home, और या जब आप ड्राइव कर रहे हो या चल रहे हो अपनी फैमिली के साथ, आपने ठीक नहीं है, And you're a very, very astute and आप बहुत ही aware हो. And I know you mean well for the nation.
That's true.
So आपको चुभता है. तो क्या तहसीन पूनावाला ने भी कभी नॉर्मल नागरिक की तरह यूज किया है ये पावर? कैसे? एक इंसिडेंट बताइए.
When I started off many years ago, बहुत सारे पोस्टर्स होते थे.
हाँ.
सबको
कहाँ की बात? सिटी?
पुणे जी. तो सारे पोस्टर्स होते थे और सभी लोकल नेता पोस्टर्स लगाते थे अपने आप को विश करने के लिए. Now the city was getting defaced.
अभी भी होता है.
अब भी होता है. So what we started was a campaign. जहाँ नेता का पोस्टर होता था मैं पोस्टर लगाता था गधे का. और मैं लिख देता था Happy birthday.
Wow.
With other donkeys.
But that requires balls.
Fuck it. What will they do?
No, seriously.
अगर
this is how many years ago?
This was I think 2008, 2000.
Any political affiliation personally?
No. That time कुछ नहीं था.
कुछ नहीं.
Still anti-BJP.
Okay.
But everyone was put.
Even then.
I've always been anti-BJP.
Okay, all right.
But everyone was putting up the poster, including Congress people.
तो आप जाकर सबके पोस्टर पर क्या लगा देते?
सबके पोस्टर पर, उनके पोस्टर के बाजू में अपना पोस्टर लगा देता था. अपना मतलब गधे का हैप्पी बर्थडे
नहीं है.
नहीं अपना नहीं, गधे का पोस्टर. गधे को विश करते हुए और नीचे छोटे छोटे गधे, बकरी, भैंस.
तो रिएक्शन क्या हुआ?
सबको निकालना पड़ा शर्म के मारे.
क्या बात कर रहे हैं?
It became quite an issue.
तो रिटेलिएशन नहीं हुआ कि ये किसने डाला, फाइंड आउट करो, गुंडागिरी वो नहीं हुआ?
But then when the commissioner called me, the PMC commissioner, I said, you remove those. If my poster is illegal, the one with the donkey, why is this donkey? Neta's poster illegal.
That was purposeful. So like, he's a TV personality, a fantastic actor also, by the way. I can see that.
So, if it's not the content of the poster, it's the poster that is illegal.
Absolutely.
So get it
done. So it helped.
It helped.
Well, this is not an advice. This is what Tahseen had done.
There was another thing I did in Mumbai. There was an ACP called Dhoble. This is, I think, 2010.
Okay.
Mumbai. The guy was moral policing. वो बार में जाता था, लड़कियों को उठाता था, नॉर्मल लड़कियां, were sitting in the bar and parade them as if they're sex workers. And he did this to a few German girls who are tourists. They saw some cafe in town side. It was in the tour books. Those days the internet wasn't. You had these tour books, and they were there, and he called them hookers. Now, even if they were sex workers, their right to dignity is fundamental.
Absolutely.
And their right to privacy. You cannot parade them. This guy's parading them for publicity. So your boy took him on, and it was a Congress government, by the way. This was a Congress government. I took him on. I had a lot of pressure from the Mumbai police not to go after him, but I refused. I went to the Human Rights Commission, I went to the Women's Commission, and I went to court. Ultimately, this officer Dhobli was transferred. You cannot moral police. I am sorry. And you cannot come in a city like Mumbai and Pune and parade people, parade youngsters, parade women, and without any iota of evidence, humiliate them by calling them sex workers.
But Tahseen, where do you, again, what inspires Tahseen to do this?
I can't stand bullies.
You stand up to bullies.
Yeah, it's an inherent problem in me. I can't stand bullies. Yeah, it pisses me off. I saw recently a video 3-4 days ago on social media, and I'm going to take on this IS officer. She was outside somebody's shop, making the shopkeepers maro jhadu outside those people's shop. If it's the area outside, it's either civic duty's job, or if they've done something, you find them. Who is an IS officer standing with machine guns making the shopkeepers maro jhadu?
Oh, really?
Yeah. And the same IS officer, when some BJP leader, it's not about BJP, it could be any Neta, she bowed 5 times in front of that leader.
I saw that video.
Yes, that same officer. It pisses the fuck out of me. You're an IS, IPS officer. Your duty, you are the steel frame of the Indian Constitution.
Yes.
Your duty is not to bow in front of Netas. Your duty is to serve we the people. And Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel gave you that independence. Kya ukhad lega Neta aapka? The duty, as Mahatma Gandhi said, is to serve the last man or woman standing in the line. ये इसलिए आप नहीं बनते हो, आप उस कुर्सी पे इसलिए नहीं बैठते हो कि आप नेताओं के काम करो. आप उस कुर्सी पे इसलिए बैठते हो कि आप समाज का काम करो, आप समाज का कल्याण करो. That is the power.
And I hope a lot more people do it.
Yeah.
Now, I can talk about this topic with you for the entire podcast, but no, I will move on because I want to really use your beautiful mind to get to the people. मैं अज्यूम कर रहा हूं, और अगर मैं गलत अज्यूम कर रहा हूं मुझे करेक्ट कीजिए, कि वक्त के साथ आपके बहुत सारे पॉलिटिशियंस के साथ एक पर्सनल रिलेशनशिप बन गया है, दोस्तों की तरह. वो तो होता है, कलीग्स की तरह, राइट? इवन दो यू आर नॉट अ पॉलिटिशियन. I feel I want to talk about Rahul Gandhi today.
Correct.
I don't know, मैं presume कर रहा हूँ कि आप उनसे मिले हो over time, आप उनके करीब हो, आप उन्हें जानते हो on a personal level. Am I right in that presumption?
Yes.
That's lovely. Now, over time, हम सब as citizens ये बात इग्नोर नहीं कर पाए हैं कि उनकी मौकरी हो रही है, उन्हें उनके बारे में मीम्स, उनके बारे में जोक्स, ये पूरा पप्पू एस्पेक्ट हो रहा है सालों से. मैं पहली बार सबके सामने पूछना चाहता हूं कि आपने कभी राहुल गांधी से ये अंदाजा लिया है, और हैज ही एवर confided in you to tell you about how he is feeling about this? सही है, गलत है, whatever, that's what अलग बात है. But as a human being, let's humanize him again.
Yeah.
Let's do that. He's not a cartoon character. He's a human being.
He's addressed this publicly. I've heard him speak about this publicly. I think there are two aspects to it. Pre-2023, he was lampooned a lot.
Yeah.
That whole Pappu image, I think, has now disappeared after the Bharat Jodo Yatra. However, you may think of somebody, it's not easy to walk 6,000 kilometers, 25 kilometers a day. So I think that's kudos. Winter, rain, sunshine, he did it all. From Kanyakumari to Kashmir.
Wow.
So kudos to the man. And that's unbelievable fitness. So he did it. So I think that image has disappeared. The second part of it. Personally, he's seen so much tragedy in life. I mean, to lose your father, to lose your grandmother. I think he's a tough guy. I know he's a black belt in martial arts. He's used to, somebody who's seen so much tragedy in life. I don't think this is the bunch of Monu in Mohali or Chintu in Chandigarh or Munna in Mumbai. What is putting on Twitter is the most pressing issue. But yes, there was an effort to mock Rahul Gandhi, an effort for which crores of rupees were spent. No doubt about it. By the opposition, his opposition, particularly the BJP IT cell. I feel it could be his videos are spliced, things put out of
Is there any proof of that?
Well, so many videos. So there is a very there is one thing about him that's mocked, for example, which is again a spliced video where he's saying "Alu dalkar sona nikaloga," and the BJP often mocks him. He actually didn't say that. He actually was quoting that this is what the Prime Minister is promising you, and that won't happen. Right. He was saying it in a different context, but they've only removed that part of it.
Okay.
So it was.
और ये बहुत हुआ है.
बहुत हुआ है. So a lot of things that he said is out of context. This may not really be directly the IT cell. Look at how he's emerged today.
That's my question.
After the Bharat Jodo Yatra.
Yeah.
Today you have to take him seriously. He's the leader of the opposition of the country. He's raising relevant issues. You may agree or disagree with his issues, and I disagree with a certain of issues that he
I know that.
But the fact is he's raising issues that are relevant. Even pre-COVID, he was the first to flag that COVID's going to be a financial hit on India.
Okay.
He did flag it.
Okay.
There were so many issues that he flagged. The China threat. He's been talking about it. So I do think whether it's geopolitics, whether it is health, finance, he's been talking about crony capitalism. Now again, you agree, disagree with him is a separate issue. He's been raising very relevant issues. He's been the one politician who's been talking, for example, about futuristic jobs.
Yes.
So I think those are relevant issues to be raised. Now again, you can agree or disagree on the part you take. But he is a patriotic guy, a guy who wants well for the country, and he's showing it. That may not necessarily reflect in his electoral success as much as it reflects in Mr. Modi's electoral success. But for me, 2024 was a boost for it.
Yes,
The Lok Sabha election.
I agree.
Yeah. And I think now there is an element of a lot of seriousness taken when he speaks. Also, it's difficult when he's speaking now in Parliament as LOP to shut off the mic, to put him down. So I think that is also a little bit of a
tough business, huh?
Oh, it's a tough.
Oh, it's a
listen.
tough business.
But if once you get into the kitchen, you can't complain about the heat.
Absolutely not.
And we don't mean this in any sexist way. Men, women, everyone go in the kitchen. Lest we get trolled.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. But yeah, so I am an absolute agreement with you that there has been a change. 2024 elections was a big boost for Rahul Gandhi and his perception. And from what I'm understanding, मेरा सवाल था कि personally, how does he feel about it? So to which you saying that he's a strong man, and of course, like any other human being, he was affected earlier, and now he's emerged stronger. Am I right in summing that up?
Yeah, I think whatever you go through, look at where you're today. We all have our trials. That was a trial for him. But look at where he's today. So he did that journey. He actually did a physical journey, a pilgrimage of India from south to north.
That's true.
And look at where he's today. Yeah.
Right. Now, since we spoke about Rahul Gandhi, obviously let's speak about our Prime Minister Modi, right? And once again, I'm loving your neutrality.
Yeah.
ये बहुत important है आज के polarized दुनिया में, चाहे हमारा देश हो या यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स ऑफ अमेरिका हो, चाहे जो भी हो, हमें मतलब ये हो गया है कि आपको नहीं तो लेफ्ट नहीं तो राइट होना ही चाहिए.
और इंडिया में कोई लेफ्ट राइट नहीं है. कुछ नहीं है लेफ्ट राइट. राइट वाले ज्यादा लेफ्ट है, लेफ्ट वाले ज्यादा राइट.
ये matching है.
कोई लेफ्ट राइट नहीं.
But let's talk about Prime Minister Modi, right? Since we spoke about Rahul Gandhi, now let's move on to Prime Minister Modi.
Correct.
Right. I'd like to understand Tahseen Poonawala's point of view of Prime Minister Modi ने क्या गलत किया है और क्या सही किया है.
I think he's done a lot of things that are right for the country. Number one, in my opinion, the best thing that he's done is removing Article 370. I was in favor of that. Completely in favor of that. There's a lot of arguments for against it. I'm happy he did that. That was a promise the BJP made. He delivered. I'm happy. Our relations with the Middle Eastern countries, the Muslim countries, phenomenal. Right now at BRICS, he invited the Iranian president. Very good. The new Iranian president.
Yes.
So he's invited him to India. Again, the Middle Eastern countries, fabulous. We're a part of both the Quad and the BRICS. Now you say, why BRICS? We are founding members. But if you remove India from BRICS, the rest of them are an anti-West, would be anti-West, right?
China, Russia, Iran, absolutely.
So now you have India there, which is the balancing factor. He continues the policy started by Nehru, and he continues it. We're friends with Russia and with Ukraine. We're friends with Israel and with Iran. We are friends with Israel and with Palestine. Fabulous.
Yeah.
So
very tough balance too,
which India's always done.
Always done.
And kudos to the Prime Minister, he's done that. Kudos. Yeah, kudos. Middle Eastern, he's taken it to another heights. He's maintained the relations with Russia, but we've got very important relations with the Western world. Kudos to him. He's done great job on that concern. We have a slight neighborhood problem. Maldives, we have more than slight.
Yeah.
Maldives started it, but we've got Maldives back under control. The Maldives president came. So kudos again there. Maldives also realized it's important to be with India. They cannot go completely away from India. But then there's the Myanmar problem. There is Bangladesh now.
Yes.
Pakistan continues to be troublesome. There is disengagement that just happened at BRICS with China.
Absolutely.
The terms and conditions are not completely out in public domain right now with us.
So we don't know.
Yes, though they've told that they're going back to pre-2020, but they're going back to the 2020. But what 2020? Like post coming in or after? The accountability of China coming into our territory is not there. Specific patrolling points that we used to patrol before the incident happened in 2020, are we still allowed to patrol up till there, or is it a buffer zone? Those nitty-gritties have not been put out, which I think in our democracy is not correct. We are not a China, this should be out. So there are those issues. But again, I'm happy that India and China are disengaging. So that is more important.
So geopolitically, you feel that Prime Minister Modi has put us in a powerful position and carried forward a lot of the good
in a troubled neighborhood. And then you come to domestic. I think the economy could have done much better. It's doing well.
Okay, that's a little surprising to me, because from a layman's perspective, the projection and the propaganda is that, and the narrative is that our economy has never been better. We are heading towards becoming one of the top 3 economies in the world, GDP-wise, where our stock markets are booming. I hope by the time this episode comes out, that little correction is done with. We're in good shape. The per capita income is also up. Our fiscal deficit is excellent. Inflation is controlled. These are the titles, the headlines, which keep hitting us. So you're saying that's not 100% true.
That's not 100%.
What's the truth?
The truth is the economy is doing decently well. I'm not disputing it. But that's also because our consumption internally is so large. It's such a large economy, right?
Which it always has been.
Which is also been. But when you look at the core indicators, we spoke about per capita income. If you remove the top 20% of India, your per capita income is sub-Saharan.
True.
So you may be the third largest economy in the world or heading towards it. Per capita income wise is still in the 120s.
Sad.
Which means resources in the hands of a few people, few privileged people.
Yes.
We haven't had tax reforms at the way it should. In fact, this budget was a disaster.
Why do you say so?
Look at the tax that has been put upon us. A common man to spend 100 rupees has to today earn 130 plus 18% GST. I'm talking about 18% GST and 30% tax. 148. But after spending 148, what do you get?
Nothing much.
So there isn't that accountability out there. The middle class is heavily burdened. We may say inflation is under control, but look at, for example, edible oils right now and look at the price. So even those inflation measures that is being done by the RBI or that's being done by the organizations that are affiliated to the government, are they actually taking in the correct weightage of what the common man is feeling? Because your savings is at an all-time low. So if inflation is low, spending is, why is your savings at an all-time low? But the common man is not saving enough.
Is he also spending a lot more? What are the aspects?
Yes, it could be spending, but
the empowerment of the middle class.
No, but spending on what? Is he spending on building assets or spending and which is not being captured in inflation data?
That's true.
So you're spending more to save your daily life.
Also, a lot more people are investing in assets like the stock market. There's been a huge in the domestic,
yes, but again.
Not enough.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Exactly. Not enough. We can always be better.
That's correct. But and in the stock market, long-term capital gains, short-term capital gains, after I've paid my taxes.
Yes.
After I've paid my goddamn fucking taxes.
Yeah. You got to pay.
I am putting it in the market. I am taking the risk.
20%.
I am taking the risk. And now you're charging me not just short-term capital gain, long-term capital gain.
Yeah.
When I took it on a government policy that says, please invest in the market.
Also indexation.
And indexation that came in. And they then withdrew that on the real estate to a slight degree. But indexation in real estate is nothing but an inheritance tax. So it's nothing but an inheritance tax. So what does the government want? Just put your money in FDs so that their friends can take loans. This is the most ridiculous bureaucratic budget exercise that I saw this time. GST is so complicated. And you talk to the common man, there is tax terrorism in our country. And people get scared of saying it, there is tax terrorism. The government loves to show ease of business is good. They love to show data. But those data are managed on international forums because they look at Delhi, Mumbai, they look at certain matrix. But you ask the common man today, there is more compliance that's required. There is more Inspector Raj that's come in. Even in small issues like taxes. Taxes should be simple. What Vishal owns, what Tahseen earns. Once I pay off my tax, what I do with my money should be my problem.
Weren't they talking about abolishing income tax?
Well, there's no move forward on progressively easing the income tax. There's only been move forward on putting more taxes on the common.
Okay.
And that's surprising because a small tax on the salt started the entire Dandi March.
That's true.
Leading to the throwing out of the British Empire. And right now we are so taxed and people are just burdened. Look at the tax a common man pays, a common middle class person pays. Ask your viewers.
Can I ask you a very straight out question?
Correct.
And I don't understand ki waqt ke saath, I feel these are the Britishers who I blame wholly for doing Hindu-Muslim. Right? Mere hisab se, it did not exist to the extent, at least, that it does now. And I'm saying the Britishers, I hold them responsible in a very big way. My best friend, very proudly, is a Sikh and is a Muslim. I have two best friends.
Correct.
Right? I have never thought that. Right? You're a Muslim?
Yeah.
Correct. Have you ever felt, what do you feel like as a person who's astute in society, accepted in society, you're a successful man, well-spoken, well-educated? Tell me something, how does Tahseen Poonawalla as a Muslim feel in Bharat today?
So there are two aspects to this again. There is this amazing poetry I heard. ये देखकर पतंगे हैरान होगी, अब तो छते भी हिंदू मुसलमान हो गए. So what you spoke about your best friend, The fact that you now realize your best friend was a Sikh or a Muslim, you didn't realize this before.
No.
The fact that my identity of being a Muslim is now told to me by Vishal is something that's happened now.
Not by me.
No. I'm just saying. I don't
trying
mean
to
it in a bad way.
understand.
Yeah, I'm not saying this in a bad way. I am saying that I never knew I was a Muslim. I only thought of myself as an Indian.
What's changed?
Then I'm told, like, how do you feel like a Muslim?
When did this change?
Post 2014.
Not before that.
नहीं, मैंने सोचा ही नहीं था. ये सवाल तो अब मुझसे पूछा जाता है ना, और पहले पूछा ही नहीं गया था. I was never asked this question. Never. And today I am told, how do you feel? This is the greatest country in the world. I love it. This is my motherland. I was born here. But for me to be told on a podcast, and I'm not saying this in a bad way, I am told, bro, you're Muslim. How do you feel? Bro, you're Sikh. How do you feel? Bro, you're Christian. How do you feel? Bro, you're somebody may be gay. Why should these divisions come in? Why can't we just
And
be
that's
Indians?
my point. Why?
Why can't we just be Indians? Why can't our identity be firstly and lastly as Indians? Why does it have to be religion?
What's the answer, Tahseen?
The answer is that religion is the opium of the masses, and it's being used by politicians across the board to divide society.
For centuries.
Not to bring society. Now that was done, but now it's done in a very naked way. And the question to ask is, if religion or culture was in threat, why aren't BJP leaders' kids on the street with a sword fighting for it? Why are their kids abroad studying in the best universities? Why is it Oasis kids on the street fighting to save culture or his QOM if Muslims were on the threat? Why are his kids in the best universities in Western countries? That's the question to ask. Because all of these people want society to be polarized. You know, there was an incident about 15 years ago in Uttar Pradesh, in Bahraich, during the procession. For everything that happened, the person who died, I felt really bad. The person who died was a young guy called Ram Gopal Mishra. And it broke my heart. And then it broke my heart to see that Ram Gopal Mishra came from the most poor family. Why is it that the poor Hindu and the poor Muslim are dying? Why is it that they are dying? Why is it that they have to be on the streets to fight? So this is something that we need to figure, and this kind of fueling this fire, it is very, very scary. Religion has become a dividing force rather than a binding force. जबकि वो एक सेतु होना चाहिए. किसी भी धर्म, आप कोई भी धर्म देख लीजिए, इसमें इतनी commonalities है. Why aren't we celebrating those commonalities?
But we do.
We do.
Beyond politics?
We do.
Beyond. I mean, आप एक ऐसा फील्ड बताइए. मैं एक एक्टर हूँ, मैं इंडियन फिल्म इंडस्ट्री को बिलोंग करता हूँ वेरी प्राउडली. मैं कभी भी एक सेट पर नहीं गया हूँ अपनी 30 साल की जिंदगी में एज एन एक्टर जहां पर उस सेट में हर धर्म के लोग रिप्रेजेंटेड हैं.
एग्जैक्टली.
एंड नॉट बाय डिजाइन, जैसे अमेरिका में होता है ना कि अफ्रीकन अमेरिकन का ये रूल है. नहीं, यहां पर डेमोक्रेटिकली किसी को कोई पता नहीं है कि आप कौन हो, क्या है,
Exactly.
आप काम कैसा कर रहे हो वो.
And that should be the only criteria.
Yes.
The criteria should be merit, should be hard work, not religion, not anything.
Are we reaching that, Tahseen?
It'll take time.
Are you optimistic?
Very.
Good.
I'm optimistic, and it is the need of the hour because this is India's time under the sun. India का वक्त अब है और ये करना बेहद जरूरी है because we have a huge young population and it is our responsibility to give them a better life than we inherited.
You believe this?
Yes.
You believe कि ये इंडिया भारत का वक्त है?
Absolutely.
You believe कि we are India truly shining?
We are India that can shine even more globally and that can be the world leader, particularly in the way technology is changing, if we create opportunities for our younger people.
But then why?
Because
does a tear come in Tahseen Poonawala's eyes when he is driving on the streets of Pune, Delhi और मुंबई, जब एक छोटी सी बच्ची आती है उनके गाड़ी पर और ठकठकाती है धूप में और कहती है कि मुझे पैसे दो क्योंकि आपके बच्चे हैं, मेरे बच्चे हैं.
Correct.
और ये जो बच्चे, जो प्यारे प्यारे बच्चे हैं, उनके बाल जो है वो गोल्डन हो गए हैं, हीट से काले हो गए हैं, फिर भी जो उनकी आंख में है वो ग्लिंट है क्योंकि वो बच्चे हैं.
Correct.
फिर भी इंडिया शाइन हो रहा है. इंडिया प्रोग्रेस हो रहा है, हम जा रहे हैं दुनिया के स्तर पर, हम फिर हमारे देश में फिर भी बच्चे क्यों भूखे नंगे हैं?
बिकॉज हम टेक्नोलॉजी का और फ्यूचर सोचने का इतना इस्तेमाल नहीं कर रहे कि अगले 20, 25, 30 सालों के लिए हमारी प्लानिंग क्या होनी चाहिए। और इस वक्त जो हम एक टेक्नोलॉजिकल रेवोल्यूशन पे हम उसका इस्तेमाल करते, एक्चुअली जो हमारे लोगों की परेशानी है उसको हम मिटा नहीं रहे। देखिए, लेट मी जस्ट कम टू व्हाट आई वांट टू।
Before you say that, I want to tell everybody about your philanthropy. I know you don't talk about it.
Yeah.
And मैं बिना परमिशन के दुनिया को बताना चाहता हूँ कि तहसीन एक ऐसे इंसान है जो ऑनेस्टली ज़्यादातर दुनिया को एक पनाश, एक स्वाव, एक आउटस्पोकन, और बहुत सारे लोग उसी पर उन पर एक ओपिनियन, एक राय क्रिएट करते हैं। अब मैं ये ओपिनियन को इंडोर्स या कैंसिल करने के लिए यहाँ नहीं आया हूँ और आपसे इसलिए नहीं बात कर रहा हूँ। मेरे बिलीव्स आपके बारे में आप जानते हो, एंड यू नो आई अडोर यू एंड रिस्पेक्ट यू।
थैंक यू।
बट लोगों को ये भी पता होना चाहिए कि इंसान के बहुत सारे फैसेट्स होते हैं, अच्छे भी होते हैं, ग्रे भी होते हैं, बुरे भी होते हैं, बहुत बढ़िया भी होते हैं। तहसीन का एक छोटा सा ये एक फैसेट है जो दुनिया को बिल्कुल पता नहीं है कि वो फिलैंथ्रोपी में, हेल्प में बहुत विश्वास करते हैं। एंड आई एब्सोल्युटली नो कि किसी ने ये वेरी अनफेयरली कभी भी हाईलाइट नहीं किया है कि तहसीन ने बहुत सारे बच्चों, और बच्चों की बात हो रही है तो मैं उनकी ही बारे में बात करूंगा, डायरेक्टली और इनडायरेक्टली बहुत मदद की है। And whether you say this or not, whether we keep this or not, thank you.
Thank you.
It's a cause that is incredible.
You know, Vishal, I'm the first time I'm talking about it.
I know.
मैं ये सोचता हूँ, I have a son, जुर्वान, वो अभी 18 महीने का हुआ, कुछ दिनों में 19 महीने का होगा। उसको जो अपॉर्चुनिटीज मिली है वो इसलिए मिली क्योंकि वो मेरा बेटा है। वही अपॉर्चुनिटी हर भारतीय को मिलनी चाहिए।
बिल्कुल।
Everyone should go ahead based upon merit, not based upon where they are born. तो ये मेरा कर्तव्य है। और सेकंड चीज, आप जितना the more you can give, I feel the more the universe gives you. आप जितना दोगे यूनिवर्स आपको उससे ज्यादा देगा। It's not, I don't do it because I want the cameras, I want the media, I want people to know. This is the first time I'm talking about it. बट अगर मैं इस पोजीशन में हूं कि मैं किसी की मदद कर सकता हूं तो मेरा कर्तव्य बनता है कि मैं शेयर करूं। अगर मैं अपने इर्द गिर्द एक बेहतर जिंदगी, एक बेहतर दुनिया बना सकता हूं, और हर व्यक्ति अपने इर्द गिर्द एक बेहतर दुनिया बनाए, जो भी उनकी कैपेसिटी हो, चाहे एक व्यक्ति की मदद करो, चाहे कभी मदद करो, ओवरऑल भारत विल बिकम अ बेटर प्लेस। So I don't think I'm doing something that is extraordinary. I don't think that way. I just think ये मेरा कर्तव्य है ये करना. It is my duty to help. And if I can, I should. और बहुत बार ऐसा होता है विशाल, पता है पैसे भी नहीं लगते. The universe just helps. मैं कॉल कर देता हूँ और सामने वाला कहते थे यार भेज दीजिए मैं करवा दूंगा, आप छोड़ दीजिए इसको. So the universe, and I'm getting very emotional talking about it, will always give you what you ask for, what you put in. I firmly believe it. And I'm in a position of privilege. The universe has given me this privilege. मैं कॉल तो कर सकता हूँ और वो हो जाता है. So then it just works out, and I feel that I'm very, and I just live in gratitude कि ये होता है. So, and the more I do it, the easier it becomes. So I don't think too much about it.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, and it's important because you see, all kids must have a good future. It is our duty as a country to give our kids a good future.
But you know what, Tahseen, I am enamored with that brain of yours. And I want to extend an invitation for you to come back. Because there's so much that I can learn from you. There's so much that we can all hear and understand from you.
Yeah.
Tahseen Poonawalla, on that note,
thank you.
I hope that I know and I'm inspired कि आज मुझे एक दोस्त मिला है. And this is to a growing friendship. I wish you love. I wish you health. And I wanted to speak to you about your fitness. I wanted to speak to you about your spirituality. Yeah. But for that, everybody will have to wait for another time.
Yeah, let's do that.
Because that's another full conversation that I'd like to have. But thank you so much.
Vishal, I want you to know, and I want everyone to know that I cherish this relationship I share with you.
Thank you.
It's a bond that I share with you. It's we don't speak every day, but when we do, we leave from where we started.
Yes.
It's a relationship that is almost like two electrons that can connect at any given point through a wormhole. It's almost like that. And I know that if I pick up the phone, you're there on the other line. I want to wish I want to wish Rashi, your lovely daughter, all the best. You have an amazingly warm house, and it reflects your personality, it reflects Rashi's personality. I'm so happy. I'm so happy you invited me to your home. I'm so happy to be a part of this. So thank you so much, Vishal. And I'm so glad I could do this. I'm
one of the few people who's humbled and so happy and elated to have met and to know and to call Tahseen Poonawalla my friend. Thank you for being on the Vishal Hour. It's such a pleasure.
Thank you, Vishal. Thank you. Look forward to it more.
Thank you.